What is going on, you guys? Today we're going to go over 5 tips to help you become a better producer. All right, so tip number one: whenever you start feeling stuck, changing up your process can be greatly beneficial in getting your mind working in a different way, and could really help you in the long run. For instance, normally I start with melodies. I do frequently get caught up to where I feel like I can't make anything new, or I'm just not inspired. So sometimes I'll start with drums. Sometimes I'll just do some claps and get a percussion loop going, and that always seems to get me out of that rut. You know what I mean? And even if sometimes I'll start on the keys, and sometimes I'll start on guitar, like just alternating back and forth, and just not getting complacent with the creative process can really help you find new avenues to create. Tip number two will be learning an instrument. So if you don't know how to play the keys very well or at all, I would suggest starting on the keys or maybe the guitar. I feel like everybody has a MIDI keyboard, so that probably would make the most sense. Doing this is going to, one, it's going to streamline your process. Two, it's going to really help you create. I mean, whenever you're clicking notes on the piano roll, it can get really stale. It's not very inspiring, and I feel like it's not as fun to watch. You know, if you're trying to entertain, if you can play the keys, you can really get your ideas out faster, a better workflow, and it's really just going to help you in the long run. All right, tip number three is going to be taking the less is more approach. When it comes to gear and BSTs, there's constantly new stuff coming out on the market, and rarely is it anything that's innovative and something that you really need. Gear's awesome. I do have probably more gear than I need, but like I have the Roland Integra, but I have that specifically to take strain off my computer. It has a ton of sounds, and my computer's not having to do the processing. So if you have, a select few pieces of gear that you have a very specific use case for, that like the back of your hand, that can be very good in the studio, and it can help you be more efficient. But if you just have stuff everywhere and you can't decide what you even want to do, I feel like it just gets in the way more than anything. If you have a mono synth, a polysynth, a sampler, and just one of a few great tools, then I feel like that's okay. But once you get to the point where you have no room, if you have a gear acquisition syndrome, that's what they call it apparently. I might have a few too many guitars. I think I have 4 in here and I have 2 elsewhere. So I might need to take my own advice, but I feel like that is definitely something that everybody could could benefit from. Maybe not doing too much when it comes to gear. All right, tip number 4 is going to be remake songs that you like or you want to learn how to make. Obviously, this is going to force you to learn how to do new things or try new processes to get a specific sound that you are trying to emulate. And I would say even when it comes to the mix, maybe use the song you're trying to do, use the reference for your mix as well, and that can help you with your mixing skills. I've done that several times, especially when I was starting out. I think I did like an Akon song. It's probably still on YouTube somewhere, but I learned a ton just from making one simple Akon song. All right, and tip number 5 really kind of ties in with learning a new instrument or learning an instrument in general. Relying less on samples, and I don't mean drum samples and one shots and stuff like that, but I mean creating something around just a loop. You know what I mean? Starting from scratch, for one, it's the best way to really make something your own. At the end of the day, using a loop, a royalty-free loop, whatever it may be, is going to be a derivative of somebody else's work. And I feel like the best way, and I'm not saying this, I mean, it's fine to sample. I use loops sometimes as well. But when it comes to especially melodically and stuff with chords, I really like to start with my own stuff because I feel like that's where the creativity, the ingenuity, all of that comes from. Obviously, every chord in the book's been played before, but relating that with your melodies, it's going to develop your sound more than anything. So I think that doing that is going to benefit you far more than just using somebody else's samples. Plus, you're going to have to clear them if you ever do get placements with them. You'll have to give credit, most likely, which isn't that big of a deal. But, why not just learn to create everything yourself? All right, so that is the 5 tips. Hopefully, you guys found this helpful. If you could think of any other tips, put them down below in the comments. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Thank you guys for checking this out, and I will talk to you guys later.